evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular council meeting for Tuesday, November the 12th. Corporate Officer, do we have late items to be introduced?
We do not.
Okay, thank you. Could I have someone from council bring forward approval of the agenda then? Councillor Van Elfen and Councillor Holmes, all in favor? Great. And on to the minutes of regular council meeting October 28th and special council meeting and committee of the whole meeting minutes of the same day. Are there any changes that need to be made? Councillor Holmes.
Just a question, because I don't really remember myself, but in the terms of reference for the Development Process Improvement Advisory Committee, didn't we also include that they would be amended so that council and staff members of the committee would be non-voting? Or we discussed that, you weren't here.
I wasn't
but-
here,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Your Worship, I think we repeated the resolution. It might have been discussed, but I don't know that it was actually part of the recommendation.
Councillor Barquilla?
I suppose, we have video we could review, but I remember it being discussed, but not really carried forward, yeah.
Okay. Any other changes? Councillor Councillor Carlson.
On the same minutes for the regular meeting, 10.1, I voted in favor. It was Councillor Van Alphen requested he be opposed. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? All those in favor? Oh, just a minute. Did I do first and second?
Not yet.
I don't think I did.
I'll move it.
Thank you. And Councillor Holmes, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. No delegations. So, item 6, public comment opportunity.
We don't have a delegation?
No, we don't have a delegation. They're here to observe
Oh,
a
they're
council
not coming
meeting.
to see-
Is that's correct, right? Yes, thank you. Although I do welcome you to our council meeting. So if anyone would care to comment on any of the items that are listed there, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address, and you can address us for 2 minutes. All right. Moving on to my mayor's report. I was absent from the October 28th council meetings because I was attending the 8th annual Livable Cities Forum in Victoria. The 2-day forum covered a range of topics about building climate change resilient communities, including the business case for adaptation, the impacts climate change has on our physical and mental health, and how to use climate data in adaptation planning. Elected local government delegates created a call to action. I hope to bring this forward to a council meeting before year end. On Tuesday, November the 5th, I attended the Okanagan Basin Water Board meeting in Kelowna, and here are a few items that might be of interest to our community. Unfortunately, although milfoil rototilling is still not allowed along the foreshore in Summerland, some allowances have been made in Osuyas Lake and some areas in Vernon. OBWB staff continues to work with the Department of Fisheries, Oceans, and the province on this matter on our behalf. The Don't Move a Mussel program ended for 2019 on October the 31st, and as of September 15th, data show that the number of inspections is up over previous years, and the number of high-risk watercraft is down. So that's a good thing. Particularly interesting, the OBWB will be announcing the next round of grant applications at the end of November. So there might be an opportunity there. My thanks to Councillor Traynor for attending the November 7th Regional District meeting, and I'd like to extend my congratulations to Councillor Holmes, Director Holmes at that table, who was elected as Vice Chair of the RDOS for the 2019-2020 year.
Thank you.
Also on November 7th, Works and Utilities staff were honored by being selected by the Water Supply Association of BC for the Brian Harvey Award of Excellence. Oh, meant to grab this. So our name is on the plaque, District of Summerland. This has not been awarded since 2015, so it's not awarded every year. The award is given to a public or corporate body that has demonstrated a high standard of service to the public and is only given when a deserving recipient has proven excellence in innovative or unique solutions to water issues. Summerland earned the award for actions taken to ensure the district has safe drinking water and ample supply for both residents and agricultural users. These initiatives including raising Thirst Dam, which was done several years ago, building a water treatment plan, creating a water master plan, separating treated domestic water and agricultural water in Prairie Valley and Garnet Valley, and introducing a metering program to advance the efforts for water conservation in Summerland. Council extends our thanks and congratulations to the district's water utility team. Yesterday, Council and I joined hundreds of people in Memorial Park to respect and honor servicemen and women, both those who did not return home and those who are still living. I was asked by media my thoughts on why the numbers attending the Remembrance Day services are increasing. I believe it is because we constantly hear about civil unrest, war leading to mass migration, and radical policies around the world. People in Summerland and elsewhere feel that setting aside an hour to focus on remembering those who fought for our freedoms that we take for granted in Canada is becoming increasingly important. At our Committee of the Whole meeting this afternoon, David Hull, Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, updated Council on the changes to this year's Festival of Lights taking place on November 29th. Many of the changes have been made to address safety concerns, including 2 park and rides where attendees can hop on a shuttle to be transported into and out of the event. There are 3 stages this year: a relocated main stage near the Summerland Library, a kids stage in Memorial Park, and a world stage on Victoria Road next to the post office. Fireworks will begin just after the 7 p.m. official light up, and the activities will begin at 4 instead of at 5. Due to the number of attendees expected by the Chamber this year, they're estimating 12 to 14,000, and the earlier start for the fireworks display, the Chamber and the District are requesting your cooperation in preventing potential conflicts. Please leave your dogs at home. Thank you. CAO.
Okay, well, thank you. Just a brief update from the last couple of weeks. Again, reiterating what the Worship said around the award for the Award of Excellence for the Water Supply Association, leadership through council, staff, and the community. On that front, it's fantastic to see. I had the chance to take a tour of Unisys School earlier this week as well, so a fantastic addition to the District of Summerland. I had a chance to have a look through the school with Director of Operations, Rich McLeod. Very complimentary of staff through the process of the recent dormitory expansion as well. And 2 days out from the students arriving, everything worked out really well, which is great to see. So local students, international students, and they're also looking at partnerships with the Okanagan Hockey School as well for use of the dormitory in the low season out there as well. So a fantastic use of the facility. And when I had the tour, the gymnasium was full of pickleball players as well, so jam-packed with people who we'll be chatting with at our open house tomorrow night, looking for pickleball courts in the community. So that was a fantastic opportunity to check out the school there. The Wharton Street project, just an update for the community around the 88-unit project downtown. Paving is near completion, and the road should be opening in the coming week in time for light up, which will be great for the community. A reminder to the community around the upcoming budget sessions. Our finance team have been working hard with the management team at the district and council over the next couple of months as we get into the budget process, so making this process as transparent as possible. Our first open house is on Tuesday, November 26th at Municipal Hall from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The community will have an opportunity to provide feedback and get some insight on the utility budget. So that's the first of 2 open houses on the budget process coming up. So we look forward to seeing the community out and about at those budget sessions coming up. From the recreation side of things, busy Halloween. The Aquatic Centre hosted approximately 300 attendees, 60 volunteers on October 25th for their Halloween evening of games, activities and swimming events. The Southern Interior Land Trust partnered with the District of Summerland to implement the second shoreline restoration demonstration site in Summerland at the Peach Orchard Beach on November 7th as part of the Love Your Lakes project. So that was a fantastic contribution. And finally, as I said earlier, just a reminder to the community, on November 13th, we have our open house and information session and looking for feedback on pickleball, tennis courts, and dogs in parks. So look forward to seeing everyone out tomorrow night at Council Chambers to hear back on that project. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Nothing for 9.1, correct?
Correct. Oh, Your Worship, there is one from
Okay.
today.
Thank you.
There we go. Okay, so at today's Committee of the Whole meeting, there was the following resolution was considered and passed by council, that staff be directed to consider a shared management framework for the Arts and Cultural Centre as presented in the report dated November 4th, 2019, and that a phased management framework plan be developed for a 5-year period, and further that prior to any agreement being made, all financial considerations and long-term plans be presented to council for review and approval.
Thank you. Nothing under bylaws. On to 11 business items. 11.1, ALC non-adhering use additional residence for farm worker accommodation at 26405 Garnet Valley Road. Corey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you will recall, the Agricultural Land Commission has undertaken quite a few changes that mean that they've created a new type of application that's called a non-adhering residential use application. This application is also going to eventually require a site-specific zone amendment, but at this time we recommend that the application be forwarded to the Commission for consideration so that we can then, once it comes back, have some discussion about how we amend our zoning bylaw to allow the use. This is the proposed building. The applicant intends to essentially renovate the upstairs to accommodate 8 farm workers. So I think that's pretty straightforward. It is a shared type of accommodation, and the reason a rezoning will be required or a text amendment will be required is because it does include a kitchen facility right within the housing unit, which is currently inconsistent with our bylaw. Council will, of course, recall that we had considered an amendment that would accommodate this use, and now we'll need to look at it on a site-specific basis should the Agricultural Land Commission grant approval to this application.
Okay.
That
Thank you.
concludes my comments.
Any questions of council? I just have a wee question about the process. When you're talking about a text amendment, the zoning stays agriculture, is just site-specific for that?
Correct.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Councillor Van Alphen?
Move the motion as presented, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. That it go on to the Agricultural Land Commission. And seconder, Councillor Barkwell. Any further discussion or comment? Councillor Carlson.
Just a couple comments from the Agricultural Advisory Committee. One of the things that the committee really appreciated was the agrologist commentary and letter written by someone who appears to have the experience and knowledge to write a proper agrologist letter, and it was nice to see. So hopefully as we go forward and continue to receive such applications, they will come with similar quality documents, because sometimes, as we know, we get letters that say, oh yeah, go ahead, but perhaps they could be biased. So this one I think is a good plan.
Great. I'm not sure if the Lynn is a female Lynn or a male Lynn. It's a woman. That's quite an impressive resume that's
Yeah.
attached to the letter as well. Okay. Thanks for those comments, Councillor Carlson. All those in favor? And none opposed. Item 11.2, appointment to Development Process Improvement Advisory Committee, and I think this is for you.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Mayor. At the October 28th meeting of council, you passed a resolution with regards to the terms of reference for the Development Process Improvement Advisory Committee and asked that the appointment of council member liaisons be deferred to the next meeting. So today, staff is presenting that report with those recommendations that Mayor Tony Boot and Councillor Doug Patton be appointed to the Development Process Improvement Advisory Committee and that Councillor Marty Van Alphen be appointed as alternate.
Thank you. Anybody willing to bring that forward? Councillor Carlson, and
I'll move
seconded.
the motion.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Holmes. Any discussion?
You're all right?
Okay.
Make
All-
sure. I mean, we can't ask Doug, he's not here, so.
All those in favor? Thank you. None opposed, so that's carried. I did check with Doug before he left. Item 11.3, Troubadour Resources Mining Exploration, CAO.
Thank you, Your Worship. So a staff report was presented to Council in May 2018 regarding a referral received for proposed mining activity by Amarillo Troubadour Resources within the District of Summerland watershed near Glen Lake. District of Summerland, along with the District of Peachland and the Penticton Indian Band, all sent letters of objection. However, the permit was approved through the ministry against the objections received, and as noted in the report, the permit had already been approved at the time the district was given the referral. So outlined in staff report from 2018 were a number of recommendations that, if the permit was issued, the recommendations be part of the obligations required by the permit holder. In discussions with our works and utility staff, the conditions were applied to the permit, and this was confirmed by the ministry. Works that have commenced under the permit are associated with exploratory actions. It is our understanding that sufficient quantity and quality of targeted minerals are discovered, if they are discovered, then a mine application would eventually be submitted. In discussions with the Natural Resource Officer representing the Indian Band, the actual development of a mine could take at least 10 years, should it even be deemed viable. The Penticton Indian Band and District of Peachland have identified still concerns with the proposed works underway and continuing, and are in the process of submitting a further letter of objection. So staff are seeking direction from council for the potential of submitting a further letter of objection to the continued operations in the district's watershed. So staff are looking for some feedback for council before moving ahead with any direction. Thank you.
Thank you, CAO. Questions of staff? Councillor Traynor.
I guess my question would be, is if we all sent letters already and they were, I guess, kind of ignored, and they had already given the permit, what is the value in sending a second letter, even though I think we should still do it? Can we expect anything back?
Yeah, through the chair, Your Worship, I think the opportunity to follow up would show a united front based on the letters that were sent back in 2018. And again, albeit with different councils around the table, that we certainly want to, before we sent a follow-up letter and provided any advice, we certainly want to have that discussion with council before doing so.
Councillor Holmes?
Okay, thank you. If we sent a letter 2018 with certain objections and asking for some conditions to be applied to the permit, and those conditions were in fact applied, I don't understand why we would send another letter of objection. What are we objecting to this time if they've actually applied those things that we were asked for in the first time?
Yeah, through the chair, Your Worship, from what our discussions with the Penticton Indian Band representatives, their concerns are still with the continued mining operations. So it would be a follow-up letter outlining those concerns from the three different organizations around the continued operations. Whether or not the difference will occur in terms of the ability to change things, I guess yet to be determined. But I think the intention is certainly to, as I said earlier, show a united front if that is the direction of council.
Councillor Holmes again.
Maybe rather than sending them a letter, we should ask Troubadour Resources or the Ministry of Mines to come to us and explain to us what they're doing and what they're planning to do, so we can ask them questions, so we're a bit more enlightened. Would that be an option?
Certainly, through the chair, Your Worship, we could put that request into the ministry and the applicant.
Councillor Barkwell?
You know, in this report, I don't see any identification of any material risk to our watershed. The footprint for some drilling exploration is a pinprick on the earth compared to the forestry, and even as the photograph I sent shows the disruption to the ecosystem, if that's your concern, of the hydro lines. The forestry, why should we at all be concerned about this when we make no objection to all these other activities in our watershed? There's been lots of drilling done up at Eisentalk, right just to the west of Eisentalk. There's been lots of drilling, both for molybdenum up in the Lost Chain Creek area. Never has anybody even known about it or worried about it. The impact of this drilling done under these conditions is so ridiculously minimal compared to all the other forest activities that I just seems like a total hypocrisy to object.
Councillor Carlson?
I think it's a little bit bigger than that, though, because if something is found and they decide they're going to develop a mine, if we haven't objected and understood what they're trying to do from the get-go, I think it becomes harder to have any skin in the game. So I would suggest that if the potential outcome is to end up with a mine in our watershed, I think that could be quite serious, and we should be paying attention, and we should be standing with our neighbors on this one, because it could end up being more than simply a small exploration, as
With any luck.
I'm just going to jump in here, Councillor Van Alphen. I was going to say precisely what Councillor Carlson has just said. The reason for doing this exploratory drilling is they're hoping that they will find enough of what they're looking for, the minerals they're looking for, to develop a mine. And that's where I really take issue with that. Another thing that you suggested, Councillor Barkwell, was that it's hypocritical to speak out against this activity when it hasn't been spoken out in the past. And the status quo doesn't always need to be the status quo. These are changing times, and as everyone here knows, protecting our water source from potential contamination, whether it be from a mine or from roads or from deforestation, all of those could potentially impact our watershed, our shared watershed. I think I don't see any harm in reiterating our opposition to the drilling. Councillor Van Alphen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You know, we sent a letter in, and they, with concerns, and they addressed those concerns. As Councillor Holmes said earlier, like, what are we objecting now? I mean, I'm all in favor. I'd like to see the mining company come and speak to us at the table here. You know, I have to appreciate Councillor Barkwell's email the other day, like, you know, you look at Princeton and their mine, and how many people it employs. Look at Brenda Mine. Brenda Mine's behind Peachland. There's a lot of people in Summerland that were very fortunate to work there and basically built their farms, having a job up there and having an orchard in town. You know, so it creates a lot of employment. I respect what everybody's saying about the watershed too, but I'd like to hear from them. You know, what's the harm of having them come to the table at least and explain themselves and show us what their intent is, and it gives us a little bit more of, gives us some education of what's to happen. Like, here's a prime example of our watershed, right there, that picture. That's our watershed, and it's all behind Summerland. You know, we have the BC Hydro right-of-ways, we have, you know, deforestation, you have all sorts of things going on in our watershed, but hopefully today we're doing it better than we did 50 years ago. But, you know, I'd like to at least have them come to the table. Thank you.
Have you looked at Brenda Mine on Google Earth? Yeah. It's significant and ongoing devastation there. Councillor Carlson, did you have another question?
I was gonna comment, and then I was gonna, since we're not asking questions, I thought I'd put something on the table.
Okay.
But my comment would be, that's what our watershed looks like. We better start paying attention, protecting it. So I would like to move the staff be directed to send a letter of objection to the continued mining exploration by Troubadour Resources in the district's watershed, and further that staff invite Troubadour Resources and/or the Ministry of Forest Lands, etc.
No, it's mining, I think.
Is mining?
Yes, mining.
To present to council at an upcoming committee of the whole meeting.
Okay. Councillor, I guess we need to second her first, and then I'm going to Councillor Barkwell.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Councillor Traynor. Councillor Barkwell.
My concern is that if our objections are successful and they don't do any exploration work, then you never do get the chance to find out if there's something of value there and have the proposal for a mine, the full environmental review process that goes with a mine proposal, and the opportunity to consider whether we would value the jobs for the footprint that creates or not. You're not even giving, if they don't do the drilling, you don't even get that chance to decide that it is of value and the impact is manageable and minimal, so.
Okay. Councillor Holmes.
I'd like to propose a amendment to the motion, just to replace the word objection with the word concern. So instead of sending a letter of concern to the continued mining exploration, the reason being, I don't think it's necessarily fair to object and then invite them to come and come to us to explain what they're doing. I think you want to express a concern, and then they come to us, and then after you've heard them, you can decide whether you object or not.
I'll second that amendment.
Okay. So, is there any discussion on the amended recommendation? Amended motion?
Motion to amend?
The amended motion? So now we have that staff be directed to send a letter
we have to
of
vote on
concern?
If we're gonna
Sorry,
amend-
I'm just reiterating what the amendment is. A letter of concern to the continued mining exploration by Troubadour Resources in the district's watershed, and that Troubadour Resources and/or the Ministry of Energy, Mines and Petroleum, I think it is, be invited to attend a committee of the whole, council committee of the whole meeting. Is that something like what you've...
To present
Yes,
that.
to present at? So can we vote on the amendment, please? Letter of concern All those in favor? And none opposed? And now,
Now on the,
Now-
now on the total motion, Your Worship.
now on the total motion. As I've just stated, any further comment on that? Nope. All those in favor? Opposed? And you're, sorry? Okay, so that motion is carried. Councillor Barkwell is opposed. Okay, moving along to 11.4, 2020 regular council meeting. We'll see you all in your elf costumes on the 29th. Thank you. 2020 regular council meeting schedule. That's for you, Karen.
It is.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And good evening, Council. As you're aware, every year, Council must provide notification to the public of their annual regular meeting schedule. The report before you provides the calendar days being proposed for 2020, keeping the second and fourth Monday of each month as your regular meeting days. Because the schedule was coming before Council for approval, we wanted to take the opportunity to propose an afternoon meeting option for 2020, as well as discuss the evening meeting start time. There is a recommendation to keep the status quo. This is the first recommendation in your report. The second and third recommendation would involve a change to the council procedures bylaw. The second recommendation is really more administrative in nature and does not need to affect what is current council practice today. Staff are suggesting council include the 1:30 p.m. meeting as a regular council meeting rather than a committee of the whole and special meeting. There are some benefits to this, including that notification is provided to the public as part of your regular meeting schedule. This will remove the need to provide notification every 2 weeks for both the committee of the whole meeting and the special meeting. So again, the agendas would just be posted on the website as they are now, just under a regular meeting. Also, as noted in the report, there are very few regular meeting days in the year that do not have an afternoon meeting, either a committee of the whole and/or a special meeting. One of the potential cons is related to the past, and that's the practice in the district for closed meetings to be called as special meetings and for the use of committee of the whole for discussion and reports in the afternoon. There is no right or wrong way. However, there may be a benefit to shifting committee of the whole meetings to a no resolution, rather information only, and potentially utilizing committee of the whole meetings to meet with and build relationships with other public partners, including the school district, Penticton Indian Band, even at the RDOS, as was mentioned today in an earlier meeting. The proposed evening meeting time was a discussion with council on the possibility of starting this evening meeting at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. The benefit is for staff and the public, both for availability and consistency. As mentioned in the report, we often do change the start time based on the public hearing and how many items there might be considered. This suggestion is that we just start at 6 p.m. Every evening. If this time, of course, it's a concern if this time is not preferred by council and/or the majority of the public. As mentioned in the report, either or both proposed changes would be brought back to council as an amendment to the procedures bylaw and then require notification to the public prior to adoption. Should council choose to just move forward with the status quo, we will take a recommendation or a resolution from you to provide notification to the public with that schedule. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councillor Carls?
So if we were to make such a change, do we have any estimated time of how long that evening meeting might be? Would it mean that we would have an hour in the evening more likely than, because it would all be dealt with in the afternoon, or is that wishful thinking?
Go ahead.
Yeah, through Chair, Your Worship, I think the evening session would still host all of the land use items and planning items, variances, rezonings, anything to do with land use that would require any public comment, public hearings. So in terms of determining a time frame, it could be difficult depending on what's on the agenda. But the intention would be to host some staff reports in the afternoon, which may lessen the time in the evening session.
Counselor Trainer and then Counselor Holmes.
I like this schedule. My only concern is that if we have a 1:30 meeting, can we somehow set a time that we could be finished that would allow us enough time to just eat something? And for myself, I have to go home and just quickly check on 2 kids. So I need a little bit of a break just between the 2 meetings. So that would be my only concern, is that we either schedule an end time where we would vote to go past if we needed to, or something like that, to just ensure we have some kind of break between the 2 meetings.
4:30, are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, and like where we would, again, put in something where we could vote, so if we really needed to go past, that would be fine, but otherwise, we all know, okay, we're done at 4:30, so that gives us time to do what we need to do.
Counselor Holmes and then Counselor Barr.
Yeah, just on that, today we finished at 5, and that wasn't the first time we finished at 5, and so I think we need some break in between the 2 meetings, so I don't know, we might want to start the afternoon at 1, or maybe start the evening at 6:30 or whatever, but I don't think we should necessarily cut off our business because we're constrained of time, but then I don't necessarily want one meeting to run into the other. So that's one. So I think that's a valid concern. The other thing I would like to know, under the financial implications, I understand the attraction of having staff here during the day to deal with these other things, but I think it's also really important that we do ensure that all regular meetings, regardless of what time of day they happen, are recorded, appear in video, and so I think I'd like to know what the costs of that would be. I know it'd be difficult to estimate the cost savings of having staff here during the day rather than the evening, but I think we should be able to get the rough costs of videoing afternoon sessions, and so we can make a decision based on that.
Any other? Oh, yes, Counselor Barkwell.
I was going to suggest maybe a 1 o'clock start as well, and having a break, a sufficient break between the 2 meetings, I think, is probably important. Maybe as Councillor Holmes said, 6:30 is a compromise time. Depending, we'll get a few more comments here and see what people say. The other thing was, when you listed option 2 or proposal 2, you listed off some cons, and I didn't really follow all the pros and cons of what you were saying there, and I skimming through the thing and I can't find it. So could you go over that again?
Sure. Through the chair to answer the question. So the pros would be that the notification for the regular meetings is provided annually, so the schedule is set and all the regular meetings, the public is aware, are at 1 o'clock or 1:30 or whatever time is set. So what currently happens now is we provide a notice, so we do a special notice of a committee of the whole and of a special meeting every 2 weeks, so that would no longer be required from a staff kind of efficiency point of view. The con I mentioned was the practice for the district. So I noticed in the past that most of the special meetings have been for closed meetings, and they've been held on the same day as a regular meeting. So my only thought would be, from your practice, whether or not you would see that or the public would see that as a con. So, but again, the public would receive notification of any changes, and we could start this as of the beginning of the new year type of thing.
One more thought, if I could, Your Worship. The meetings were often in the evening before, so that people could more easily attend. And sometimes it wasn't just people who were going to speak at a meeting or such, they just wanted to see what happened and how it happened. Now with the video and all the information available online, I don't think it's quite as important to have that reason doesn't exist as strongly. I think it's still a little bit easier, but if it's important and you're going to a public hearing or something, in the afternoon's probably more acceptable now.
Your Worship. Your Worship, I just, through you as well, to answer the question of the video. So that would require a staff person, and we kind of guesstimated 2.5 hours, thinking it would be 1:30 to 4, but again, it could be 1 to 4 or 1 to 3:30, but it would be around $75 to $100, I would suggest, for a staff member to do that.
Councillor Van Alphen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, most of our public hearings and stuff will still be in the evening.
Correct, Your Worship.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate Councillor Trainor's train of thought with the, 1 o'clock till 4 and 6:30 till whenever. But I definitely believe too that we need that break in between. Like, I have a small, I don't have little kids at home, but I have a small farm. So I have obligations too after that. And from 5, when you get home at 5, it's a little difficult to get your things done that you need to do. So it'd be nice to have that, bigger window of opportunity between.
Is the wish to have 1 to 4 and 6:30 to whenever, or 6 for the start of our regular meeting in the evening? Councillor
I
Traynor?
think if we do 1 to 4, then 6 to whatever is fine. That would be my opinion, because that would give us 2 hours. Even 4:30, an hour and a half is enough. But
Does
starting
that-
at 1 would work.
Does that work for you, Councillor Van Alphen? And you have little ones too, so. Councillor Holmes?
Yeah, I'd only say, yeah, but we might not finish at 4. Which case.
But if we started at 1, started at 1.
You can continue it at 6, can you not?
No, you have to do it the publicized time, right?
Your Worship, you could adjourn the meeting and then reconvene after the evening meeting.
So anything that was left over, you could just move over to the evening?
Correct.
Thank you. It's all one regular.
Would you reconvene after the evening meeting, or at the beginning of the evening meeting you could reconvene?
I would recommend after, because the public would be here at 6 or 6:30, whatever that time is for that meeting.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And council can also choose to reconvene or actually defer items to the following meeting. So there's a few options
Yeah.
there.
Right. Councillor Holmes?
Yeah, and again, just regarding the video recording, would there be any issues with Shaw? I mean, would they just put this 2 meetings together and broadcast them as one, or do we know?
Yeah. Your Worship, they do take our feed from our recordings, so if they have the 2 of them there, they would take the 2 of them, and we could put them together into one and just have part 1, part 2 if that was easier for them, but we can work with Shaw.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Carlson, are you bringing forward the...
I
Thank
will
you.
bring forward some motions,
So-
almost as presented.
Mhm.
However, including a 1 PM regular meeting and a 6 PM. Yeah, just 1 PM, I guess, is the only change that would have to be made to the motion on the floor. Do we want to put the finishing time on there, or does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 till 4 PM.
Your Worship, the amendment to the procedures bylaw can have a closed time for the afternoon.
So then that works for you?
Yeah. I mean, it could be 4:30. 4 or 4:30. Doesn't matter.
4 sounds good to me.
We can always go longer if we choose to.
I would recommend the procedures bylaw say, that a motion would be needed to carry past 4 PM.
o'clock?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you seconding?
Sure.
Thank you.
And if it doesn't work, then we can
Yeah.
change it.
Back.
That's right. Councillor Barkwell?
So if we have regular meetings on Monday afternoons, and I really do like the idea of having them recorded, the cost seems minor to me, but the increase to transparency is worth it. The committee of the whole meetings would a lot of the subjects that we've dealt with as a committee, a whole style, which is slightly different procedure for read our bylaws, but in practical purposes, it doesn't appear to feel very different. Would they now just be done as a regular meeting?
That's correct, Your
Okay.
Worship, yeah.
Counselor Trainer?
When would the special meetings be then?
So a special meeting is a meeting that council can hold at any time, any day, and anywhere. So, again, you can call a special meeting for anything. So if you wanted a special meeting tonight to talk about a budget process or a development application process or anything of council's wish, or if there was an item on an agenda that you thought required its own meeting, council can call a special meeting at that time, and then we provide the notification to the public and do all of those things. So a special meeting is one tool in the toolbox, and it is considered a regular meeting from the perspective of you can make decisions and pass bylaws that do that kind of thing.
Counselor Barkwell?
So if we have a regular meeting on a, we usually deal with the closed issues on the afternoon. So if we have a regular meeting scheduled, then we don't have to have a special meeting scheduled. We just say, now we're going into the closed session and
That's correct.
drop all that rigmarole.
That's correct.
Counselor Holmes?
Because our special meetings aren't really that special.
No, they're not.
I think that's what we're trying to be told.
Yes.
But you're special, and you're at the meeting.
In your own way. Okay, any further discussion or comment? All those in favor? And then opposed. So that's carried.
Do we have to do the schedule one?
Put all of them together.
No, we just finished passing the one with the hours, but now we have to do a schedule for the,
You had brought forward all
All
three.
the motions.
oh,
Unless
you did all
have-
three, but just the changing the one? Okay, I missed that part.
Now that you've brought it up, though, do you have any concerns with the scheduled dates? No. Okay. So we're good there. SILGA and UBCM is in there. On to 11.5, amendments to council procedures bylaw, and Karen, that's probably you again, right?
That's correct, Your Worship. So as part of the amendments to the council procedures bylaw, we are recommending that we include a notice of motion as a standing heading in the regular meeting agenda. So that would provide council with the opportunity to bring forward on an agenda a notice of motion for the following agenda. And that basically gives council the heads up that, that something is coming and provides information on that.
I'm not sure how it disappeared, or if it actually was never on there, but I like this addition.
I'll move the motion.
Thank you. Councillor Van Elfen seconds. Any questions or?
It'll give us ideas.
All those in favor? And opposed? Okay. Item 12.1, correspondence. Is there anything that a councillor would like to bring forward from the correspondence? Three letters from ministers that we met with at UBCM. Well, I guess two of them. Two of them are letters from UBCM ministers, and a third one from another minister. Okay, if I could have someone bring forward that they be received for information, please. Councillor Van Elfen and Councillor Holmes. All those in favor? Great. 12.2, committee and commission minutes. Included in the report dated for the November 12th regular council meeting. So those would be August the 23rd APC minutes. Anything to change there? Okay, or I guess none of us attended, so Councillor Trainer, you're bringing those? Okay, and seconded by Councillor Van Elfen. All those in favor? Thank you. And on to councillor reports. I'm going to start this evening with Councillor Carlson.
I don't have much to report. Attended Remembrance Day yesterday, and it was a nice day. And all of those kids really liked watching those airplanes fly over. It's a kind of a neat tradition that seems to have been started. Trying to think if there's other really important things, but I think we're good. It's been snowing in the mountains around us, and that's probably a good thing because it's November.
Yes. Okay. Counselor Traynor?
I think you covered everything I was going to say. I wanted to again congratulate Councillor Holmes, who is now the Vice President. I called you a doctor earlier.
He's Vice Chair. Wow, you're really elevating him.
Anyway, congratulations on being the Vice
Chair.
Thank you. And I attended Remembrance Day yesterday, and it was very nice. And that's about it.
Thank you. Counselor Van Alphen?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. November 7th, my wife and I went down and planted trees
Oh, that's right, I saw your
at Love Your Lakes at Peach Orchard Park, close to the boating, the ramp there for the boats, close to there, and it was a lot of fun. We had a good time, and it was only the two of us, and Al and his wife, and then a crew from Sagebrush Nurseries appeared, and things went much quicker. So a lot of different shrubs and trees were planted there, and the whole concept, Love Our Lakes, is to help filtration, the groundwater before it hits our lakes. Some of these vegetative plants and the roots can pick up some of the toxins and what have you, plus wildlife corridors and what have you. Yesterday, too, I was honored to attend the Remembrance Day ceremonies, and it was wonderful, and it is really nice to see that it seems to be growing year after year. I just want to personally thank Reverend Hoole, who has been facilitating this for a few years now, and he mentioned yesterday that he's going to be stepping down as the chaplain with the Legion.
Yes, he's retiring.
And I want to say thank you for everything he's done. And last but not least, congratulations, Councillor Holmes, on your election. Thank you.
Counselor Barco?
I attended the museum board meeting and last week, and things are humming along there nicely, and you'll have a chance to go through, see the new pump that's there during the light up. They'll be open for business. And I went up with a fellow that knows the area very well to Eisentalk and hiked around a bit in the back there, and it's going to be interesting to see once they've done all their surveying work and stuff, but I think that the potential for additional storage there is pretty huge. We'll see what the official figures come in at.
Okay. Thank you. Counselor Holmes, last but not least.
Okay, thank you. On Remembrance Day yesterday, I thought it was a great ceremony, and I like to acknowledge the Legion for their organization, having to work around the construction and everything like that. I thought they did a really good job changing the direction of how everybody came in and everything. And in fact, I think it was even better the way they did it. There was less ropes and everything that people had to negotiate, and so well done to them for organizing that, I thought. The regional district last week, it was just, the only thing was what they call the inaugural meeting. So for those who don't know, the first meeting of every November of every year, they have an inaugural meeting. It's like a brand new board almost, and that's where they set the schedule of meetings for the next year, what we just did ourselves now. And then they select a chair, a vice chair of the board. So that was Karla Kozakovich was acclaimed as chair again, and myself was elected vice chair. And we also elect the regional hospital district chair and vice chair, and Petra Ventimiglia is again the chair, and Tony Boot is again the vice chair, so Summerland has two vices. So at least. Coming up this week at the regional district, we start our budget discussion, so we'll be going on parallel with the council here. Also, last Thursday, I had the pleasure of attending the Water Supply Association's awards reception evening with Devin Vandermeulen, our utilities manager, where we officially accepted the award that the mayor mentioned today. And I just wanted to say that at the presentation, when they outlined why Summerland was deserving of the award, which Madam Mayor, you talked about in your report. But one thing I think that hasn't really been mentioned is where we were starting from, and they talked about the summer of 2003, and I think most of us
Yes.
remember that, where the District of Summerland was facing a water crisis. It was an extremely dry summer. We had 3 months with zero precipitation. There was high irrigation use. They were using 120 megaliters a day at that time. And we were in a conflict with fisheries who were demanding that more water was being let into the lower part of Chalk Creek. And also then Interior Health came in with new requirements to improve our domestic water quality. So this is what Summerland was confronted with at the time. It was a really stressful time for the community. And and then all the things that you mentioned and have Devin mentioned this afternoon were put in place. And so it really was an incredible turnaround for this community. And they acknowledged at the presentation two things that that really helped us achieve the water supply stability. One was that the association was impressed with the public buy-in, that they knew this had to be done, and they were prepared, and they were impressed at how successive councils stuck to the plan, because it was it's been a 15-year-old, 15-year road to hoe, right? So they've been, and we acknowledge, and I know we still have a lot of work to do, but that was also acknowledged how we stuck to the script and kept with it. So it was a very great evening. Thanks.
Just one other thing, if I may, Madam Mayor. It was brought to my attention by my wife on Friday that the school district and the high school and the middle school had a Remembrance Day ceremony at the park, and my wife was so impressed that at 11 o'clock, the construction site next door stopped. They ceased working at 11 and then resumed working again at noon. And how impressed she was, and she wanted me to pass that on, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I actually heard that from Linda as well. And I didn't notice it myself, but in the 2 minutes of silence yesterday, they lined up on the roof of the building there and bowed their heads for the full 2 minutes. So, yeah, it's kudos to those guys. And to the Summerland Credit Union for putting forward the funds to create another 8 memorial banners, Remembrance Day banners. I spoke to somebody afterwards at the Legion, because there was a soup and bun afterwards at the Legion, and she said, I said, well, there are a couple of differences in the services this year, and she says, oh, well, I wouldn't know. This is the first time I've been to Summerland service. And I said, oh, are you new to town? She says, no, I live in Penticton. But you don't go to a Remembrance Day service in Penticton? Well, I have in the past, but I really like the Summerland Legion, and we're members here. We're not members of the Penticton Legion. And she said, I will always come to the Summerland service now. She said, there's a different feeling here, and she really appreciated it. So, yeah, interesting. Okay, so we're finished with our council reports. There is no media here, I guess. Except, no? I can just see the top of your head. I can't even see your face. No, that's okay. Any comments from the public? Marianne?
Waited all night.
This is in conjunction also with what Councillor Van Alphen has talked about the Love Your Lakes I have noticed that on the drawing or the billboard that is in front of the cannery, on both sides, both the lakeside and on the roadside, that they show a wharf going out from the proposed development, and I don't remember any discussion either on the advisory planning commission or at any council meeting where that was brought up. So can that be clarified?
Madam Mayor, I haven't seen the actual drawing, but I know that they will be bringing forward an application to the Crown and to us in due course to explore some concepts that they loosely have for that area in the future. They focus their development on the land side at this point, and we have not entertained anything beyond that at this moment. But yes, you can expect to see something, I believe, in the future.
Okay.
But isn't there supposed to be along that waterfront a riparian area? And
It has been, there is a public pathway and a riparian area that has been accounted for through the development permit application process. Any application that they would make for a wharf, a pier, anything of that nature will be a separate process and will be handled as a separate application.
Okay, thank you.
another question, and it has to do with your committee of the whole meetings or your meetings that you have in the afternoon. Now, the committee of the whole meetings are open to the public, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And the closed meetings are not? No.
Correct.
Would you always be closing them after you've discussed, if there's the need to, after the public portion of it?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question, but I'll have Karen respond regardless.
So when you have the committee of the whole meetings, and you have it open to the public, that's to discuss the general things, that's to discuss staff reports and things like that.
Correct.
But if there is a need to have the meeting closed,
Mhm.
would that would be after that portion of it, unless that whole entire meeting is considered closed. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
And on the regular meeting agenda, it will say the reason for closing the meeting, should there be a meeting to close, or items, sorry, to discuss in closed, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. She's not moving, right? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we are done. Adjournment, someone, please? Councillor Van Elfen, Councillor Carlson, all in favor? Excellent.